so much for letting us have the kids for the week. My name is Lynn Bain, and I have been the director and teacher of this week's camp. And I've got to say, right now, this has been my favorite group of kids. They were just on it, and I was able to do some more advanced work with them. And instead of just the basic building blocks of, hey, this is where you're supposed to stand, face the audience, speak louder, the basic stuff, I could go more into what is your character feeling? What do you mean when you say that? And they took all the information that I gave them with grace and applied it immediately, and I was just very impressed with them this week. I do have a couple of announcements before we get started. So for each camp, I write an original show or an adaptation of a book. I write these shows with the intention of giving everyone a part. I try to add in as many characters as I can. So for this show, I was under the impression we would have 10 campers. Some things didn't work out and we ended up with 7 campers. So what do? We cast some of our adult helpers in minor roles. The adults that you'll see on stage today, they have degrees in theater, or they're working towards their degree in theater, and I think it's been a really great experience to have your kids work with some adults, just to match their energy level and see how that flows. So I just wanted to explain why you'll see adult helpers on stage with them today. We are recording this performance, and the recording will be sent to you within 2 weeks. I also wanted to let you know that they will or may call line, and Ms. Jen over here will give them their line. They have memorized so much text in a week's time, which is incredible. I did not ask them to, it was not a requirement. I was perfectly fine if they wanted scripts on stage, but they opted to go ahead and memorize and said, get it up, let's do this. So they will call line. It's hard to do within a week. I would like to, without further ado, present the case of the royal jewels.
Good morning, you two.
Good morning, Nancy.
Morning, Nancy. How did you sleep?
Oh, just fine, thank you. And you?
Oh, fine. Here we have to see next to your father. Ed?
No, thank you. I was working suffocating things this morning.
Oh, that's right. Your letter from Sherlock Holmes should be arriving any day now.
Oh, how exciting. You applied for his internship months ago. I thought you'd never respond.
My stomach has been in knots since yesterday. I don't want to sell myself out short. I do work, but this is the Sherlock Holmes we're talking about. I mean, it wasn't just a search in the US, it was a global search. And he only chooses one promising detective every 5 years. What chance does a 16-year-old girl River Bates have?
Nancy, pessimism isn't your style. You have just as much of a shot as anyone else, and I am so proud that you took the chance. And
If he doesn't end up.
if he doesn't end up selecting you, you have the rest of your life to fight in.
Who knows? Maybe one day you'll be the one looking over those applications. Now do try to get something in your stomach. Being hungry won't make things any better.
Nancy, it's here. Hurry, open it.
What's all this, girl?
Your letter is finally here. It came to Bess's house by mistake. I couldn't contain my excitement. We ran all the way here because we wanted to hear the good news together.
How did they manage to send it to Bess's house?
Oh, that doesn't matter now. Open it.
Dear Miss Drew. Dear Miss Drew, I was very impressed with your application and cover letter. It seems that River Heights is very lucky that you're willing to clean up its messes and save the day. I would like to invite you to join me here in London to complete the esteemed Young Detectives internship. I'm currently working on a case that is most top secret, one that I cannot disclose in the contents of this letter. My team and I would like to extend you this offer, provided you are able to travel to London immediately upon receipt of this correspondence. You'll find that your travels have already been taken care of financially, as well as your room and board once you arrive. No one is to accompany you. Watson and I will be waiting for you at the airport with a sign that says, "Welcome home, Susan." Susan Hopewell will be your alias for your stay in London. Hope to see you soon, Sherlock Holmes.
That's so exciting!
Well, I suppose you should start packing. I will admit, I'm rather nervous that I will be traveling all that way unaccompanied.
Oh, we could go with her, Mr. Drew. Yes, we could dress up like businessmen so that Nancy doesn't get in trouble with Mr. Holmes.
You girls in this school. I don't think it'd be wise to.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, Hannah. I'll explain everything to your parents, girls. Let's get you all packed.
You think she's on the plane? She would have business opportunity. You should pretty certain I don't know if she does in advance, but it's not more thrilling than this last minute.
If by thrilling you mean stressful, then yes it is. Sherlock, are you sure you made the right choice? A 16-year-old girl from a small town called River Heights doesn't exactly scream professional detective material.
You made the right choice, Watson. Nancy Drew would be the perfect person to assist us with this case.
Oh, one thing for sure, friends are terrible at disguising themselves. They take mustaches quickly.
I never expected her to follow all of us, Watson. It's harmless. Everything's under control.
Excuse me, Mr. Holmes?
Susan, how lovely to see you again.
Ah, dear Susan, a pleasure as always.
God, he's even more awesome in person.
Keep it together, mister.
How unfortunate is it that we finally get to meet Sherlock Holmes in person? We have to wear suits and fake mustaches.
Thank you, gentlemen. I am so honored to be here, and I can't wait to start our adventures.
Delightful. But before we discuss business or adventure, how about a cup of tea?
I'd love some tea.
After you, Susan.
It's Mr. Holmes! Look at him! Try to get this video on the live! Lottie, dear, can we have a table for three?
Anything for you, Mr. Holmes. This is lovely young lady.
This is Susan, my niece. She's just visiting for the upcoming holidays, and we thought we'd show her around the shops today.
How lovely. The usual table's unoccupied, Mr. Holmes. Make yourselves comfortable. The usual tea and cakes.
If you would, please, Lottie.
Be back in 2 shakes of lamb just as soon as I get these gentlemen. How about you start?
Just two, please.
Right this way.
This one's for children.
I don't know what you mean.
This mustache is lopsided. You'd think with all the time young lady spent in front of the mirror, she would have at least straightened out the fake mustache.
Oh, I'm sorry. They insisted on coming.
It's quite alright, Watson. We have more pressing matters to discuss. I'll give you a file that gives you all the information, and you can take time to look over it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Holmes,
Yes?
would you mind if I stepped into my hotel room first, started looking over the files?
Oh, of course. Oh, and Susan?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, and welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. I won't let you down.
See what you mean, Sherlock. She's got a big gun on her shoulder. But take care of you. You don't want some out of pressure it takes work in a case like this.
Hi! Hello. I couldn't help but recognize you from the papers. Are you the Sherlock Holmes?
I am, sir, and you are?
I am Mr. This is Mr. Shishabab, and I'm Mr. Napkin. Are you sure about that? Yes, I'm sure about our names. Anyways, Mr. Holmes, would you sign my napkin?
Yes, after our namesake.
My what?
Oh my god.
Thank you very much, Mr. Holmes. We'll leave you to enjoy your tea and cakes.
Have a delightful day, gentlemen.
Mr. Shish Kebab and Mr. Napkin, did you have a stroke in there? Your mustache is falling off.
Yes, Dad. I remember to my school books. Yes, the hotel is actually very, very nice. I'm settling in rather nicely over here. How did George and Bess's parents react? Oh, that's good news. Yes, I'll tell them. I hear them now. Gotta go. Bye.
Nancy, may we come in?
Come in, girls.
Nancy, I'm so embarrassed I could die. Beth just made up the silliest names for our disguises, and we totally embarrassed ourselves when we went to get Mr. Holmes' autograph.
I don't know what happened. I panicked and introduced us as Mr. Tishnabob and Mr. Napkin.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Thank you.
And they know your disguises, by the way. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, thank goodness. These suits are so hot. Never been so sweaty in my whole life.
Gross. So anyways, what's the new case you're working on? We could hear a little bit of what was happening, but we couldn't hear everything.
Girls, you'll never believe what the case is. The royal jewels have gone missing, and the queen herself will stop at nothing until we find them.
The Queen?
Her Majesty, if I had known that I had the chance to meet the queen, I would have packed an entirely different wardrobe.
You're telling us.
How is news about the royal jewels not gotten out to the States yet? That feels odd.
That's exactly what I thought too, but I did some further reading, and it turns out the queen has gone to great lengths to ensure that no one hears about it until she finds the jewels.
Do they have any leads on suspects?
They do. Their primary suspects are their gardener, the royal gardener, Bill Montague, and her very own niece, Margaret.
Her niece? Why would a member of the family steal the jewels? I mean, you think she'd have enough money she could buy her own?
I know, that's what I thought too. Well, we'll figure it out, I guess.
Watson, she'll be here on time. Quit worrying.
You know Americans, they're always late for everything. You're rude and loud. 10 pounds says she didn't read over yet. I kept manually included in the files.
Hello, boys. Watson, shut your mouth. The queen doesn't like codfish.
Oh, well.
Right on time. You can sit your bag down on the bench. The queen wouldn't want your eyes to get encumbered unnecessarily.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I didn't even think about that. What is the queen like? I'm admittedly very nervous to meet her.
You can call me Sherlock, Susan. The queen's lovely. I've had the good fortune to meet her a fair few times, and I'm sure once this case is blown over, you'll see the real woman behind the crown, because she's very stressful woman.
Detective Holmes, punctual as always. I assume this is the young lady I heard so much about. Susan Hopewell, was it?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Lovely. Detective Holmes told me you'd be just the right person for the case of the royal jewels.
I'm up to the task, Your Majesty. I'm told you suspect 2 key players, your gardener, Philip Montague, and your niece, Margaret.
Yes, it's dreadful. Those jewels have been my family for centuries, and I will not be the one to blame for their absence in history books.
I understand, Your Majesty. May I ask why you suspect these 2 specifically?
Margaret's always been a handful. She openly speaks out about her abhorrence of our extravagant wealth and goes out of her way to donate unreasonable sums to countless charities and causes. She tries to manipulate the public to believe that she is the only one who cares about these matters, even though the royal family has made substantial donations to the charities and causes already.
Would the gardener, this Philip Montague, be acting alongside her, or believe that they were unaffiliated?
That's the other issue. Margaret is at the stage where she enters relationships that are well below her station just to cause trouble. Philip is a fine man, but he isn't whoever chooses a partner for my niece.
Are they official in any way? Have they gone public?
Not to my knowledge, but they're always sneaking about together and whispered in the hallways. I know young love when I see her.
What would Margaret's motive be? I'm sure she has plenty of money to donate to the charity, so I don't see why she needs the royal jewels.
It's probably for a publicity stunt to show how the royal family flies into a tizzy over materialistic items.
I should expect that any family required to use zero material items. There's always a possibility that there are darker motives that just aren't expected.
My thoughts exactly. I couldn't help but smile and think of her waiting for this case to break immediately and with impressive coverage. I'm rather proud of my team and how they managed to keep the case so discreet.
I'll admit I've heard nothing about it. It's as quiet in the States as it is here in London.
Well, now that we're clear on possible motives and the likely suspects, let's conduct our first round of interviews.
Excellent idea. I'll let you all do your jobs. If you'll forgive me, I have a few meetings of the royal business to attend to keep up appearances.
Your Majesty, your guards are waiting in the hall. We'll stay behind with you to keep the premises.
Very well. Susan.
Of course, Your Majesty. We're right behind you. Are they gone? I think so. This needs to happen soon. Margaret's going to be back from her vacation any day now, and she'll wonder why the story hasn't gotten out yet. You're absolutely right, especially now that the detectives have shown up. Sherlock Holmes can step us out at any moment. Maria's children are being angsty. It has to happen so they can leave without suspicion.
Couldn't agree more. Man, I can't wait till the this is all behind us so we can get our fees and get out of here.
I mean, Margaret made us an offer we couldn't refuse. Eh?
She sure did. We're gonna be rich.
Margaret is on vacation? Why would they let a prime suspect just leave? And who is Maria? I've got to tell the boys.
We've got several interrogations to conduct this afternoon, Watson. Where did Susan run off? She should be here for this.
Here, I'm here. I left my bag in the room, and I heard a conversation that would lead us into a lot of important answers.
Marvelous. What did you discover?
All done. So Margaret is currently on vacation, and there's this lady named Maria.
Did you
who's
say
not-
that Margaret's on vacation?
Yes, why?
How strange. She's on our interrogation list for this morning.
That's impossible. She doesn't arrive until later today.
Maybe her guards were misinformed?
We're in for a ride this morning, I'd say. Sherlock, it's time. Who's first on the list?
A Miss Penelope Archer, head of households.
I'll show her in. Time for us to master at work.
Good morning, Miss Archer. Please, have a seat.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Likewise, madam. I have a few questions to ask you, and any help you can provide would be greatly appreciated.
Of course.
What can you tell us about Philip Montague?
Philip? Oh, well, there's not much to say. He's a quiet man, a punctual and hard worker. One of the best gardeners the state's ever seen, to be sure. Has he done something wrong?
That's what we're trying to assess. Can you tell me about his relationship with the Queen's niece, Margaret?
Margaret? I don't know anything about him, Margaret. He's been in a pretty serious relationship with my mate, Maria, for about a year now. They're smitten with each other.
Maria?
Yes, I can see the confusion. Maria and Margaret could be twins. The resemblance is uncanny. If anyone were to see Philip and Maria together, I wouldn't blame them for mistaking her for Margaret.
I see. I see. Are there any rules in place for workplace relationships?
Not necessarily, unless it begins to affect their work.
And I take it either their performances have suffered?
Quite the contrary. It seems to have made each other better. It's nice to go to the workplace when your other half is there, to have someone you can commiserate or celebrate with, I mean.
I would imagine so. Ms. Archer, have you noticed any strange comings or goings around the apartments lately?
Not anything out of the ordinary. Margaret left for Bora Bora about 2 weeks ago, so her apartments haven't been used. I suppose it is unusual not to hear the parties that they're thrown from time to time.
Parties?
That seems like the wrong word. Gatherings, we call them.
What are these gatherings for?
Oh, it's usually ambassadors and spokespeople for various charities. She does like to keep up with her social work.
When will she be getting back from Bora Bora?
I believe she gets in sometime this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Archer, for your continued cooperation. I think I have everything I need.
Of course. You know, if there's anything else I can do to help.
You certainly will.
Well, it's a hired show. Didn't you say that Margaret's on our list?
I did?
I smell an alliance between Philip, Mary, and Margaret. But what would any of them want with the jewels?
This doesn't make any sense.
Watson, will you call me the next person on the list, Mr. Philip Montague? Good morning, Mr. Montague. I'm...
Sherlock Holmes, I know you anywhere. I'm a big fan, sir, a big fan.
Please, have a seat.
I must admit, I'm not quite sure why I'm here. I was just told to be here early this morning.
How do you like working here, Philip?
Here? Oh, it's been nice. The pay is great. The hours are great. I have no complaints.
Really? No complaints whatsoever? You can speak free. I have no say in the stats of your employment.
Really?
Yes, really.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, sometimes I feel overworked and underpaid. I feel like no matter how hard I work or how many other tasks I take on, no one really ever acknowledges that I'm a human being. A lot of us work for dirt pay and no benefits.
I see.
Well, I need this job, so I'll stomach the treatment I get here. I shouldn't have said anything. Please don't let this get back to the Queen.
Like I said, I have no say in the stats of your employment. It's not why you're here today.
It's not?
Workplace romances can get rather complicated.
Is this about Maria? We disclosed our relationship to the HR and everyone is aware that we're seeing each other. They said it was okay.
Maria, who's Maria?
She's my girlfriend. She works for the Queen's niece, Margaret.
I hear Margaret's got a handful.
She's a royal, that's for sure.
Does Maria feel the same way about working here as you do?
She hates it here. She only stays because of me.
So that makes things more complicated.
You have no idea. I love her, but she's getting more and more difficult to deal with ever since.
I Ever since what?
It's private. I really shouldn't talk about her business with somebody I don't really know.
I understand.
Well, if there's nothing else, I should get headed. I don't want to pay you a dog for being late.
One of my days, thank you for speaking with me.
Absolutely, sir. Anything to get a chance to meet the famous Sherlock Holmes.
I can show you out, Mr. Montague.
Oh, Susan, will you please bring in Margaret when you return?
Of course.
You shouldn't have told them about how you really feel about this place. They have a motive now.
I didn't say anything incriminating.
Please, they might as well arrest us now. You've ruined everything.
I'm sorry.
Just keep your mouth shut and let me handle this.
Margaret, please, have a seat.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Holmes.
Hope you had a lovely visit to Portugal, was it?
Or Aurora.
Ah, right, forgive me.
I had a wonderful time, thank you for asking.
I'm sure you know where you're here today.
My family's jewels are missing. Have you found them?
I sadly have not. How do you know about the missing jewels?
It's a family matter, and, I am a family.
Fine.
The queen has gone to
The Queen has gone to great lengths to ensure that nobody knows about the missing jewels. I'm sure you must be itching to tell the press.
I'd love to expose my family, but even I wouldn't air a story that my aunt would not publicized.
From everything your aunt told me about you, I have trouble believing that to be true.
Believe what you want about me, but what I say is true. Even I can keep something sacred.
What can you tell me about Philip Montague?
Good. What about him? He's a guardian.
So you two aren't an item?
Certainly not. Why?
The Queen has told me that you've been seeing him to aggravate the royal family.
I'm committed to my charity work, and I have no interest in being a commoner.
We've taken up enough of your time. Thank you for speaking with me today.
I do still have to unpack the things, and the jet lag is setting in.
You're free to go then.
Lynn is a good actress, I'll give her that.
She doesn't know that the Queen saw her with Philip and not Margaret.
Well, why would the Queen include Margaret on her list if she's not getting back till later this evening?
Perhaps she forgot. She's a busy woman, you know. Gentlemen, if it's all right with you, I'd like to step back into my room, go over my thoughts a little bit.
Excellent idea. That should convene after lunch.
Look at this place.
It's huge! Just think, normally we'd be in school right now, but instead we're at the Royal Palace. This is the life!
Hey, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, help me with my bags.
William, that's Mr. Shish Kebab. And Mr. Napkin to you.
Who do you think you are? Honestly, the servants have gotten rather full of themselves in my absence. Take these to my room at once.
Look, lady, we don't know where your room is.
Oh, you are new! That explains everything. Well then, take my bags and I'll show you how to do your job. Margaret, Maria, and Philip are all involved in this case. Somehow. Could they be staging a publicity stunt? Could they be framing someone else? Could there be darker motives involved? I feel like I should be farther along in this case. What if I'm not cut out for this?
Nancy, you'll never guess what we found.
We ran into the Queen's niece, Margaret.
She is the worst.
She confused us with servants, and she made us go upstairs and unpack all of her bags. She really is the worst. You would not believe it.
Anyways, when we were helping her unpack, we found this.
Dear Margaret, everything is going according to plan here. We eagerly await your return so we can make our escape. The Queen needs everything to be kept quiet, and I can't wait to see the look on her face once we break the news and watch everything crumble to pieces. While Philip and I slip away unnoticed to Richard and Kings. Sincerely, M. Maria!
Who's Maria?
Margaret's maid. Apparently they could be twins according to the head households. This is it, girls. We've solved the case.
We did?
I have to tell Sherlock.
Philip, lovely to see you again.
Sherlock, to what do I owe this pleasure?
I just wanted you to know the real reason you interviewed with us. The royal jewels have been stolen.
What? I had no idea.
Yes. Anyway, Margaret's planning to do a live television interview with all the people who've been questioned to give a sort of in-depth account of the whole experience. Can you meet us at 7 sharp in the Great Hall?
Yes, sir, I'd be happy to.
Excellent.
I the worst.
Excuse me, sir?
Yes,
Did you say that Margaret won't be coming home this evening?
I did.
Oh, no.
Excuse me, Margaret, may I come in? Another maid? Things change so much when you're on vacation for 2 weeks. Come in. Maid? No, I was in the interrogation room with you this morning. Oh, I remember. Forgive me. Jet lag has been brutal. I'm sure. Anyway, I've been sent to tell you you have a television interview at 7 in Great Hall. An interview? What for? The charity work you just devoted yourself to. It was on your calendar. You must have missed it. Well, tell my maid to help me pick it up. Maria's exposed at the moment. Whatever, said Emily. Of course.
There you are. I'm looking all over for you.
What's going on? Is it okay? Is everything alright?
No, they're doing the interview with Margaret back at Royal Jewels tonight.
Good. This is part of the plan. Remember, we cause a big commotion and we get money from Margaret and make her escape unnoticed. I love you, but we've gone over the plan so many times, I don't know how else to explain it to you that you get it. I swear, you'll be the reason that this was a...
Her plane was delayed. Margaret's not coming back this evening.
Oh God, that means...
You have to do the interview.
It's 6 o'clock. That doesn't give me much time.
Let's go then.
This is going to work. I just know it. I say to you, this is good work.
We'll get it all on camera.
Thank you all so much for catching the culprits.
I haven't coffee just yet.
But when you do, it'll be a huge relief. Here they come. It's showtime.
Margaret, right on time. Please, I'll sit there beside your aunt. Does my hair look alright?
You look beautiful.
Alright people, we have got to get set up for the first shot. Margaret, yep, if you will just sit there. And Your Majesty, if you will just wait until after the initial interview, that would be perfect. And Mr. Holmes, can we get you situated right on her right? There you go. Hey, can we get some powder over here?
Of course. So lovely to see you, Margaret. How is Aurora?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, and the case of the Royal Jewels. Take one, and action.
Good evening, Britain. I'm here today with the Queen's niece, Margaret, who has some tragic news that she'd like to share with the public.
It's true. Tragedy has struck the royal halls. The royal jewels have gone missing.
I am late, but in my defense, I really... Margaret, Maria, you set me up! This is unbelievable after everything I've done to help you!
You're here. I mean,
They told us you wouldn't be back this evening. I thought we would. Oh no.
that good luck, fella.
Margaret, we have a note from Maria detailing the plot to you escape. There's no point in denying that you're trying to escape. You're on live television. Not with it, you three.
I stole those stupid jewels!
Why would you do such a thing?
I needed the money. I donated all my inheritance to charities to spite you and make the royal family look worse than it is. I didn't want to humiliate myself and ask for more money, so I turned to these two to help me steal them.
We came to Margaret to ask her to fire us so we could find someone else to work. That would be so horrible.
We wanted to be together. Quitting the job at the palace is unheard of, and certainly wouldn't look good on a resume.
So you opted for termination instead?
Originally, yes, it was more understandable. People get fired from the palace every day, but nobody quits.
But Margaret had a better plan. If we could steal the jewels, she could sell them at board and bring us back the money to split between the three of us so that we could have a better life, and she wouldn't have to ask for more money after humiliating the royal family for so long.
It was the perfect plan. I would break the news on an interview and it would cause a frenzy. Then they could escape, and I wouldn't be a prime suspect anymore.
It breaks my heart that you worked so hard to sabotage us when all we wanted for you was a good life.
A good life? This life is impossible. I would rather rot in jail.
That's good to hear. I don't know if you'll rot in jail, but you'll certainly be there for a long time. Give him, guys.
I didn't do anything. That was all Margaret's fault.
Seriously, look here. This chair.
You really told me. Thank you, Sherlock. You come to me for saving the day. I knew you would.
I'm just sorry that it had to be a member of your own family.
I am too. I'm just happy that justice has seen the light of the day. Help, excuse me. I need to make a few phone calls.
Nancy, I can't thank you and you statutory friends enough for helping us with this case. You were a brilliant detective in your own right.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. This has been a life-changing experience for me.
let me spend the whole summer in England. Yeah, I don't think mine would either.
But I can't do that.
You have to, Nancy. This is the chance of a lifetime. You just have to write to us every day and make sure to keep us up to date on absolutely everything.
I will.
Come on, George, let's get packing.
Come on, Nancy, there's a feast in Great Hall. Let's celebrate.
I'll be there in a moment. I have to tell my dad about the good news.
Of course. See you in there.
Nancy, is everything all right?
I did it, Dad. I solved the case.
I knew you would, kiddo. Tell me all about it.
I can't right now, but I promise I will soon.
I can't wait. When should I pick you up?
That's the thing, Dad. Mr. Holmes has offered me a chance to stay in London and help him solve cases over the summer.
What an honor.
Is that okay?
You have my blessing as long as you call me every day and tell me absolutely everything.
You have my word, Dad. Gotta go.